Hello, dreamers, and welcome back to Dream by Perla. So we are doing the love connection readings. For some reason, this link is not working correctly. I wonder if it's going to take it there now, guys. So just bear with. There we go. So it is recording. I'm going to look like a hot mess in all these videos, right? Well, anyways, guys, again, as I explained in the cusp reading a couple hours ago, that I am out of the country, so this is like the easiest way to get the video out there without having to wait so long to upload videos. So we are doing the love connections from today till the 31st. So it is going to be a little shorter as far as like, it's not a full week or etc., but we are going to go ahead and get them done. So we are going to start with Earth and Earth love connection. So Earth and Earth love connection from today to the 31st. Earth and Earth love connections. So let's go ahead and see what is the main energy for love and love. Earth and Earth love connection. If we do lose service or whatever, I'll just keep on and then I'll just continue on. When the video finished uploading, it will upload everything. So what is the main energy for Earth and Earth, Spirit? Playfulness and express your love. So with the playfulness card, we capture romance, allow your inner youthfulness spirit fun to shine and express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So whether it is that you're currently in a relationship or situationship, maybe you're getting to know someone, it's almost like, is this energy of like feeling someone's vibe and kind of both of you being really into each other. Now, with the both of you being Earth and Earth, I definitely pick up like this grounded type of energy, this energy of not being afraid to like be yourself, not being afraid to express your feelings towards someone or to express. And I'm not saying it, guys, I'm just bringing the messages. There is a lust type of energy here. Someone really likes someone's physical appearance, someone's physical body. They, like, let's say if you are a female, somebody is really infatuated with like your curves or like your, I don't know if it's your face or what it is, but somebody is infatuated with someone like the physical outside of it. And if you're a male, somebody likes like, I don't know why I'm getting this, like your chest and your abs. I don't know if you've been posting pictures of like yourself in the gym or flexing your muscles or whatever it is, but there's something that somebody's like, I can see myself with that person. But there is kind of this lusty energy, so just kind of keep that in mind. I'm not saying that all connections that start off with that lust energy are necessary to label things when we shouldn't. Connecting. Sometimes, you know, the physical appearance of someone is what draws you to them, and it really is this space where, you know, sometimes people say, well, you should be more open into, like, you know, you're not going to find love or you're not going to find somebody unless you stop going after the same type of people. And that does not necessarily mean in the physical aspect, because you can be attractive, to a certain type of people, whether it's complexion, whether it's their eyes, whether it is their lips or their body. You know, you may be somebody that really works out and you're attracted to somebody that really works out. You may be attracted to somebody of like a darker complexion because you're darker, or you're lighter and you're attracted to light, whatever it is. It really doesn't matter, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean when we say open up to love in a different matter, that you have to go ahead and date somebody or be with somebody that you are completely unattracted to. What we talk about more is the person's personality. So some of you have been in a space where you attract a certain type of personality, and maybe that is what you're meant to move away from, right? Not so much the physical aspect of it, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, and I personally don't consider myself to be a shallow person when it comes to looks and stuff like that. But I have a type, right? I have a type that when I see, I'm like, right? And we all have that, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? A lot of people try to downplay that. A lot of people ahead with this express your love and this energy. And again, guys, for the love connections, I only use oracle cards and tarot. And as you guys know, my natural gift comes with just talking, or sometimes I use the water and fire. So if anybody has any tips on how to shuffle correctly or something that works for them, feel free to leave it in the comment, or my email, I believe, is there for this channel. If you have a little video of like, oh, you can pull the cards like this and try shuffling like that, I am more than willing and open to receive constructive criticism when it comes to that. As of right now, this is how I shuffle. All right, so let's go ahead and see this express your love and playfulness energy for Earth and Earth love. We have the Emperor, the Ace of Swords, the Seven of Swords. So right off the bat, I'm getting an energy of two individuals that feels heavy, guys. I'm not gonna lie. The two of you have been through the ringer. Why is that? I have no idea. They're showing me a washing machine that gets stuck in the rinse cycle, right? And when you're done with the rinse cycle, you're supposed to remove the clothes and either hang them to dry or put them in the dryer, whatever it is. But some of you feel that you have been stuck in that rinse cycle when it comes to relationship, when it comes to finding someone that you can connect with, not just in a physical level, in a physical sense. But with the Emperor here, there is a huge sense of wanting to be in control about everything, wanting to be in control about when you fall in love, how you fall in love, how you open up to a relationship, how you open up to love, and all of that. And there is this energy with the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Swords, needing to let go. Hi, Rose. And I'm out of the country, so the internet is spotty. So every time it says to reconnect, I'll reconnect. But unfortunately, it is what it is. But there's a sense of enjoy this time, enjoy the dining, enjoy the spending time together, enjoy those, right? It's like give somebody a chance, or if you're currently getting to know somebody, then don't put a timestamp on it as to the very early stages of kind of just if we're live or not. So we have the Ten of Wands, the World, and the Princess of like your usual type. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to have the same personality of those from the past. Do not rush into anything. The word no is coming in, meaning if you're not comfortable with something, because energy is always fluent, things are always changing, right? Your reaction, your response to something, their reaction, their response to something can, this goes for love, this goes for any connections, right? I go out with a bunch of people that drink. I'm not saying that they're alcoholic, but they like to drink, they like to, and I can have just as much fun by drinking water, because if I don't feel like There's nobody in this world, I don't care how much I think you're attractive, how much I think you're cute, whatever. If it's in me and I go out and I'm like, I'm not gonna drink, I'm not gonna drink. So allow in this connection, allow yourself to be lighthearted. Don't take it as, this has to be the person. Allow a situation to unfold naturally. Relationship or a situationship with somebody for a long period of time. We have here the Two of Coins in the reverse, the Nine of Swords in the upright, and then we have the Death in the reverse. Some of you are not wanting or are not ready to call it quits within a connection, and this goes both ways, you and the person that you're dealing with. So therefore, we have the Four of Wands, we have the Hanged Woman in the reverse, and then the Six of Wands in the upright. So therefore, you're going to have to almost rekindle that initial spark that you and this person had at the beginning. Whether that is getting away for a couple of days, whether that is planning date nights or something like that, but there has to be more than just routine, because this relationship has become stale and it's really more of like the day-to-day routine. So you guys that are in a relationship and have been in a relationship for a long period of time are working or are being advised to work and grow through the issues that made you guys disconnect in the first place. Because there is a sense here of not being ready to call it quits, not being ready to walk away from the situation. We have the Sun in the reverse, the Three of Coins in the upright, and the Two of Wands in the upright. So even though it is difficult, even though it's going to be hard, someone here, not just you, I feel like it's both of you. Two people here are willing to put the work in. Now, again, the time frame thing is coming back up. Some of you are going to give yourself 6 months or a year or whatever it is to try and fix a relationship with someone. But you have to be completely honest. And you have to realize that it's not up to the other person to make you happy. Now, does that mean when you're in a relationship you aren't happy? No, that's not what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about, you have a choice every day when you wake up, whether you want, how you choose to see life, how you choose to see a relationship. And if your happiness is solely coming from this person giving you compliments, or this person solving all of your issues, or this person reassuring you 24/7, then that is kind of when we start to look, okay, why can I reassure myself? Why can I give myself that love? Because remember, how you show up for yourself is how your partner ultimately is going to show up for you. A lot of people don't like to believe that. A lot of people are like, oh, your person, the person that you're with is supposed to be the person that's supposed to be with you through thick and thin, right? They're supposed to be your support when you're down. They're supposed to be there to help you when you're having a hard time and things like that. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that are fully dependent emotionally on the person that they're with, right? And it's like, show up for yourself. Okay, let's put it this way. If you have a hard time, let's say, with like self-esteem, or you have a hard time showing love to yourself, but you're able to a certain extent, show love to your significant other with no issue, right? Giving them compliments, supporting them in all of their endeavors, and all of this stuff. Then show up for yourself the same way that you show up for your person. And then that is automatically reciprocated, right? Because for some people, they cannot comprehend about showing up for yourself first, or they don't know what to compare it to. So if you're having a hard time of how you should show up for yourself, if you're having a hard time grasping that, then show up for yourself the same way that you're showing up for the person that you are in a relationship with. Hope that makes sense. So for Earth and Earth that are single, what does this express your love and playfulness? Now, I'm getting right off the bat, some of you are saying that you're open to dating. You're open to going out. Six of Wands with the Sun, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune. But whenever Whenever there's an offer, you don't want to. Whenever there's an offer, it's like, they're not my type. They're not the type that I usually date. They're not, you know what? You need to get comfortable of being around different people. The best experience that I had, to be honest with you, and I've talked about it briefly here and there. I went on a speeding date event, and it was one of those things I had in my bucket list, right? And I had a blast with it. And I met a ton of guys, let's put it this way, that I would never be interested in, but that I was able to connect with in a different level, right? So even if you're going out on a date or somebody asks you for coffee or whatever, and they're not initially your type, they may end up being a long time friend, right? And you're shutting yourself out to that opportunity because they're not your type in whatever area that is, whether it's physically, financially, whatever standards you set for yourself, those are your standards. I'm not here to judge. That's on you, right? Because that's between you and yourself. What it is, what path you are walking on, right? So those of you that are single, earth and earth, that are saying that you're open, it's like, even if the perfect ideal person comes towards you, you'll still probably say no. We have the 8 of Wands and the 3 of Swords. Because you're still, and the King of Wands. So you say, for those of you that are single, you say that you're ready. You say that you want love. And all the people that are approaching you, all the people that want to spend time with you, all the people that are trying to take you out or that want to meet up with you or whatever, you're pushing away. And sometimes people that are not your type, let's put it this way, because the universe works in mysterious ways, and sometimes it's just for a laugh, right? Sometimes Spirit sends you somebody that you may not be attracted to 100%, but that will take you out of your comfort zone. Because when it comes to dating, some of you, and there's nothing wrong with it again, always are in situations where you start talking to somebody and immediately you're a couple. And you haven't experienced the dating aspect of things, right? You haven't experienced that going out and getting to know somebody, getting to really experience what dating is. And I don't care how old you are, right? I know people that since they started dating at age 15, 16, go into long relationships, 2-3 years, and they break up 3-4 months later, they're dating somebody else for another couple of years. That is what they consider normal dating. But then once they're in these deep relationships, they start to see issues. They start to see things that they're not comfortable with. So if you allow yourself, earth and earth, those of you that are single, to date and to meet different types of people, then you'll have a better understanding and better knowledge of what it is that you are seeking for in a partner. Because a lot of you are not even 100% sure what it is that you want. So you're just like, okay, I'm open to dating. The universe starts sending you people to start dating, and you're like, nope, 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 and they're okay. And they all match, right? We have the 9 of Coins in the reverse. Nope, that's not what I want. We have the Queen of Swords. Nope, that's not what I like. The Princess of Cups. Nope, I don't like the way that person dresses. So you're saying no to everything. So if you're single and you're saying that you're opening yourself up to date, you're opening up yourself to meet somebody, whatever it is, be a little bit more lighthearted when it comes to it. I'm not saying to date every single person that comes your way, but be open to saying yes. Because the more you say no and the more you say no and the more you block off, then when that ideal person comes towards you, you're so blocked or your no is so automatic that you may end up missing out on an opportunity. Now, again, you have your standards. I'm not telling you to lower your standards in any way. I never advise anybody on that. We all have different opinions when it comes to standards in dating. But be a little bit more open. You know, going to coffee with somebody is not a commitment as far as like we are exclusive, right? You're getting to know that person. Even if it's for like 20, 30 minutes, you're getting to see if it is somebody that you're even interested in getting to know. Because some of you may physically find somebody that you are extremely attracted to, and the minute that you two sit down for coffee, you're like, oh, fuck, no. Like, no, thank you. And the same thing could be for somebody that is usually not your type. And I know that you Earth and Earth are very set on your type, and I'm not trying to take you away from your type, but just be a little bit more open-minded with getting out there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on over, where are we? 25, 48. We're going to move on over to water and water, love connections. Water and water. So we're going to do those that are, how did we do it with the first one? I didn't set an intention. So we're going to go ahead and do it how we normally do it, right? Past person, current situation, for those of you in a current situation or relationship, and those of you that are single will be last. And I should have done that for Earth and Earth, but that had its own flow to it. So what are the cards for water and water love connection between now and August 31st? Deception, forgiving and learning. So with the deception card, someone is wearing a false mask, a false self mask in this relationship. So if you're dealing with somebody from the past, current, or somebody in the future coming towards you, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. So for those of you that are dealing with somebody from the past that was being deceptive, that was trying to play you for a fool, is really the main energy that I'm picking up. It's not so much about forgiving this person. That's not the energy that I'm picking up. I mean, it's more about forgiving yourself. Because some of you are blaming yourself, like, how did I let this person play me? How didn't I realize the red flags? How didn't I see this person's true intention or something like that? And that staying in that energy of like blaming yourself is not allowing you to move forward from this connection or cut ties with this person. So let's go ahead and ask them for water and water, spirit. We have the 6 of coins in the reverse, the 5 of wands in the reverse, and the 3 of wands in the upright. Some type of argument, some types of either separation or to avoid conflict between you and the person that you were dealing with. Somebody stayed silent, somebody held everything in, but at the same time became completely dissatisfied with the connection and with the person. Started to see someone's true colors and true intentions, and then unfortunately, instead of healing and moving away from this person, you began to blame yourself. The 9 of swords, the 10 of wands in the reverse, and then the world in the reverse. And this is where it kind of gets tricky, and I need to sit down one day, and I'm going to be honest with you, and write all of these things down, because I need to make a video to talk about accountabilities and where that fine line is of accountability, where it crosses over to self-blame and then can become very destructive to self and to growth. And I feel that that is what some of you are battling when it comes to somebody from your past. We have the 3 of swords, the moon in the reverse. There's nothing else that is hidden with the 10 of swords. And it's almost like this is the energy where everything is almost like laid out on the table. There's no more deception on your end to yourself in regards to this person, and there is no more of this person deceiving you, because you are seeing, you've seen through their lies, right? You've seen through the manipulation. This fight is over. If you choose to move away from that blaming yourself and being so harsh on yourself when it comes to letting this person go. Now, for those of you water and water that are in a current relationship, this, you're trying to work something out, you're with your person, and there may have been some deception, maybe some forgiving, maybe this is a reconciliation. What do we have? Because we still have the deceptive energy here, and something is coming right to my mind. I'm going to say, let me just pull out these 3 cards. So we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse, the Knight of Wands in the upright, and the 6 of Cups in the reverse. Some of you have forgiven or are thinking of forgiving somebody and rekindling a relationship. So this is the way that the story is going. You reconnected with somebody that hurt you in the past. Now, we always talk about if you're choosing to give somebody from your past a second chance, you cannot hold the past against them, right? Because you chose to forgive all of that and you chose to start fresh. Now, the deception part comes in. If this person begins with the same patterns and the same behavior, and you choose to stay. Because now at this point, you're not holding them accountable for something that they did a year ago. You're holding them accountable for something that they're doing in this moment in time. So for those of you that are have chosen to forgive and are releasing the past and really want to make something work with your person and all of this, and you're being optimistic and you're being this and you're being that, if this person starts with the same freaking patterns, do not deceive yourself. Or do not allow them to tell you, oh, here you go, bringing stuff from the past. No. What are you talking about? Like, you just did this like 2 seconds ago. Like, you know what I mean? So don't lie to yourself if someone is starting up with their old trickery energy, their old deceptive energy. Because this deception card, for those of you that are currently in a relationship, is more about yourself. Not deceiving yourself because you're trying to hold on to a person. Not deceiving yourself for seeing how someone is actually showing up. Now, the same thing goes for those of you that are giving someone a second chance and the person is showing up. They have grown, right? They have learned their lesson. They're putting in the effort, and you're holding on to the past, and you're bringing the past into the current energy, and it's causing issues. So you and only you know where it is that your energy is at. So we have the 3 of Swords again. I was going to take that card and something was like, no, don't take this. So the King of Swords in the reverse and the 8 of Coins in the upright. So make sure that, I want to say arguments. I want to say the conversations that you guys are having to resolve your issues, make sure that they are based on the current situation. Sure, they're in the current situation. Now, if this is somebody completely new and it's not somebody from your past that you're dealing with, make sure that you're not holding this person accountable for something that somebody from your past did to you. So water and water, those deception and forgiving and learning about. For those that are single, water and water. 5 of Cups in the reverse, 4 of Swords in the reverse, 3 of Coins in the upright. So those of you water and water that are single, with the deception and forgiving and learning cards that we had at the beginning of the water and water, you guys are going to hate me for this. You're choosing to be single. You're saying that you're choosing to be single because you want to focus on you. Part of that is true. Part of it, which is the part that you're being deceptive to yourself, is that you don't want to admit that you don't want to get hurt again with the Princess of Swords. So it's almost like 8 of Wands. So if I'm not in a relationship, I can't get hurt. 2 of Wands in the reverse. So it is okay that you want to be single during this time. It is okay that you don't want to open up to anybody at this time. But don't lie to yourself saying that the reason why you're single, the only reason why you're single is because you want to just focus on either your career or your job or whatever it is. There is a little fear here of not wanting not wanting to get hurt. We have the Hermit and the Hanged Woman in the reverse, and we do have the Empress in the reverse. So acknowledge all of your emotions, all of your feelings, and do not lie to yourself, because it is okay to be in that space from time to time where you don't want to go into something because you don't want to get hurt. And that may be because underneath it all, there's something still that you're still healing from. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with choosing to be by yourself because you're still healing and you still have that fear of getting hurt. Fear is something that is inevitable in all of us, right? Whether it's in love, whether it's in career, whether it's in finances, whether it's in your health, whether it's with your mental status, it doesn't matter what it is. Fear is something that is always there, right? And it's something that when you're ready, you will face it, right? When you're ready, you'll go ahead and you'll move forward. But just don't deceive yourself and acknowledge that you may be afraid of getting hurt. And then when you acknowledge that energy, it allows you to then start healing whatever it is underneath. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to air and air love connection. Air and air love connection. So now we're going to go ahead with somebody, we're going to go start off with the past energy. So air and air past. Then we're going to do current for those of you that are in a current relationship. And then we're going to go ahead and move into the singles, air and air. We have the wedding card and reconciliation. This situation involves a marriage. Reconciliation, someone from your past is returning to your life. Now, this is going to be for a very small amount of you, air and air, dealing with somebody from your past. Maybe you were legally separated but never actually got divorced. Because I feel like there was a mutual agreement of taking a break from a connection to see if it was still something that both of you wanted. Now, when I say that, I'm talking about, I'm picking up this energy, and it's not to dismiss everybody else, but I'm just saying that how it's coming. People that either got married very young or have been together for so long that they almost felt they almost felt like they lost their identity in some part in the process of this connection. And someone is trying to reconnect with an aspect or a part of themselves that they feel that they need to be single in order to do so. So we have the Four of Wands in the reverse, the Empress in the reverse, and the Three of Coins. So emotionally, someone is ready to give by. Emotionally, somebody is ready to get this started again, while the other person is still working through some things and still needs a little extra time. So someone is not ready to move right back into this, or wanting to start slow again. We have the Seven of Coins with the Knight of Wands. But this slow energy and the Knight of Cups is being met forcefully with somebody that just wants the break to be over. We have the Princess of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. Somebody wants the separation over. Somebody wants everything left in the past. Like, okay, we took our time apart. Like, what are we doing here? Can we just go back to living together? Can we just go back to being us, to being an item, to being something, like, of that aspect? And then we have the Two of Coins with somebody undecisiveness. The undecided energy may be from the amount of work that is going to be needed in order to make this connection work. Is it worth your time and effort, is what somebody's asking. But there's definitely somebody from your past wanting to become an item again, wanting to be one again. And the other person is just hesitant at this moment. No actual decision is being made. So it's like you're not really saying no. You're just being honest that you're not 100% sure that you're ready at this time to put in the work that is needed for this relationship. So those was for those air and air dealing with somebody from the past. So now those of you that are currently in a connection, air and air, we have the wedding and the reconciliation card. Why do we have the temperance here in the reverse? The 6 of Wands in the reverse. The cups. Was there a wedding that was postponed or moved next level of a relationship that was put on hold? Something was put on hold. Something was put on hold and is having somebody in their feelings. We have the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Wands. You needed to speak up about what was put on hold, whether it was purchasing something together, whether it was moving in together. We have the Queen of Wands, but somebody is very hush about it. They're not talking about it, and this is really eating them up. So whatever was put on hold is really bothering you. It really has somebody in their feelings, whether it's you or the person that you're dealing with, and needing to express that. We have the Fool, and then we have the Hanged Woman. No actual action. I am sorry, guys. I lost connection there for a while. So this, for those of you who are in a relationship and you're finding yourself in a type of energy, until whoever it is whose feelings were hurt or is not happy with an outcome of something, until this person doesn't express it and let it out, that stagnant energy is going to continue on there. So if it is you, I advise you to go ahead and express it to your partner. Or if it is your partner that is holding back on communication, maybe opening up that line of communication. So air and air, for those of you that are single, we have the Two of Coins, the Empress again in the reverse, the Four of Cups in the reverse, the Wheel of Fortune, the World, and the Six of Coins. You are choosing, believe it or not, air signs, to stay single. You don't even have words as to why you're choosing to stay single. You're like, you know what? I have other things to focus on right now. You're dodging the energy. We have the Princess of Cups with the Three of Wands and the Ten of Swords. You're dodging the energy of love. You're like, it's too much time, too much effort. You want to energetically, this is the way that it's coming up. You want to energetically be at a certain level or frequency or however you word it, so that you attract somebody that is at that level, so that you don't feel like you are again going into connections or relationships that are one-sided. You want something that is going to reciprocate. You want someone that you can grow with. You want someone that you trust. So this wedding and reconciliation card for you guys have a completely different meaning. The reconciliation card, when it says someone from your past is returning to your life, I feel that that is you, yourself, being comfortable being single, comfortable in the space of either learning or trying to figure out what it is that you want out of a relationship, and waiting for that, or wait, because I don't feel like you're waiting for like Prince Charming or, you know, the damsel in distress to come knocking on your door. I feel like you're waiting to get yourself energetically aligned with what it is that you want. I hope that makes sense. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on over to fire and fire love connections. Now these are going to be, we're going to start off with the past energy first. Then the current energy, those that are currently in a relationship or situationship, and then we're gonna go into the singles. So fire and fire. And again, guys, these are long videos. I am out of the country, so this is the best, most effective way to do the readings. I'm only taking 2 cards. So ask for and accept support from others. So with the religious factors, for those of you that are dealing with the past and letting your friends help you, you kind of feel this strong pull to an ex. And you can't figure out why you can't let them go. But in the midst of that, deep down, you know that you have to let this person go. Deep down, you know that whether it is your spiritual belief, whether it is the values, the morals, whatever it is, or something that, as much as you guys tried in the past to work, to come together and work through these issues, nothing was ever resolved. With the 8 of Swords in the reverse, you know that it has to, the Devil in the reverse, and the Temperance in the reverse. This has to be let go. This brought a lot of imbalance. There was a lot of imbalance, a lot of inconsistency within this connection. There was a lot of empty promises within this connection that then you internalized and questioned yourself. This was never, and again, guys, this is the way that it's coming. This was never meant to be a long-term thing. 8 of Coins with the 10 of Cups in the reverse. This was meant to be a lesson and nothing more with the Judgment card. Have you learned your lesson so that you can let go of this? The 3 of Swords, the 6 of Wands in the reverse, and the Knight of Swords. Some of you have yet to see the underlying reason as to why a relationship came into your life. So until you don't get that clarity that that was nothing more than a lesson, you're still going to be holding on or still waiting to see if this person is coming back. And the way that they're saying it is they were not meant to be in your life long term. For those of you that are currently in a relationship, what does this religious factor and let your friends help you have to do with it? We have the Lovers, the Knight of Coins, and the Strength card in the reverse. The Chariot, the Sun in the reverse, the Queen of Swords in the reverse. Someone here within this connection, whether it is you or the person that you're dealing with, holds back. Okay. Whether it is you're holding back on like your political views or your views on certain situations that are going on around the world. It almost gives me this vibe. We have the 6 of Cups, the 7 of Coins, and then we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. It almost gives me this vibe of like almost wanting to agree. Hey, Jocelyn. It's almost like this vibe of like almost wanting to agree with everything that your partner says. And we're doing fire and fire, and this is for fire and fire that are single. No, that are in a relationship, sorry. It's almost like, I'm going to be honest with you, those of you who are in a connection, fire and fire, you've lost your voice within this connection. You've lost your voice, and you need to regain it. Letting your friends help you, it doesn't necessarily mean gossiping about your relationship or anything like that. Maybe you know, and again, everybody has their own point of view. Maybe going to couples therapy, maybe, because there's someone here that it's like, whatever their person say is like, it's what goes. Even if it goes against what you believe, even if it doesn't sit well with you. And if you're afraid that by speaking your mind or speaking your truth, if you close that door, buddy, my internet's gonna start getting weird. You can close it a little bit, just don't close it all the way. There are headphones on top of the table that I left there. I think those are mine. I told Papa earlier. You have the problem. I just read that, Jocelyn. You have the opposite problem. I am once done. I'm gonna take like one question if people want to ask, and I'll pull cards on it. But the way that it's coming up, like fire and fire, is like you need to just be yourself. And if you have been holding back with expressing certain things, whether it's politically or whatever it is, don't. Because if this is the person that you're meant to be with, they're going to accept you just as you are. So needing to just be yourself in like all areas of your life, right? The way that you dress, the way you express yourself, the way that you carry yourself. Don't mold into to try to fit what you think the person that you're dealing with likes. So now we're going to move into the singles, fire and fire. The Three of Swords, the Princess of Wands, and the World, all in the reverse. You've had it. I'm getting this. I've had it with fuck boys, fuck girls, whatever. Wanting more than just a physical, wanting more than just physical attraction with somebody, with the Six of Wands. Wanting to, the Sun in the reverse. All of your cards are in the Ace of Coins. In the upright. So you only have one card in the upright. You guys are literally done with relationships that are not satisfying your emotions or your spirituality or whatever it is. You're tired of relationships or connections that are just satisfying the physical needs. You need duct tape. So yeah, a lot of you just, we have the Nine of Wands, the Hangman in the reverse, and then the Ace of Cups. A lot of you are just like, you know what? You're tired. You're tired of connecting with people that sounds so fucked up. There's nothing up here. Here, they're a total 10. In here, they're like a negative 10. And I'm sorry to say that. I'm not trying to put anybody down or anything like that. But that's why those of you with the fire and fire energy that are choosing like not to start something with somebody, that are not trying to rekindle something, or just like, you know what, I'm just going to stay single, because it's like you are a 10 until you open your mouth. Stay in that energy and stay single. Nobody's judging you, love. You know what you're looking for. You know what you need. As far as like when it comes to like stimulation mentally and spiritually, emotionally, being able to talk to somebody, not just about, yeah, it is great to have a partner, right, that you can talk about what you guys want to build and want to create and all of that stuff. But sometimes you want to talk about current events. Sometimes you want to talk about other things outside of the relationship. And if you're with a person that you can't talk about like your opinion or your point of view on current events and things, you know, political, whatever it is, then are they really a match to you, right? Because we're not talking about the two of you needing to see eye to eye and everything. That's not, because then that's just going to be boring, right? You want somebody, those of you that are single, you want somebody that's going to stimulate you mentally. Like, you want that mental stimulation. Like, you're fine, I can look at you for hours and days on end, but, you know, I need out of your mouth to match that 10 that you have on the outside. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to earth and water love connection. So Earth and water love connection. So now this is going to, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do it the same way. We're going to do past energies for those of you dealing with somebody from the past, earth and water. We're going to do current energies for those of you that are currently in a relationship, and then the singles, whether it is that you're choosing to stay single or if you're going to go open up to somebody. So earth and water, what are the two cards, Spirit, for earth and water? Attraction and separation. Those are two funny cards to come together. So attraction, you attract romantic love by enjoying the moment fully. Separation, time apart from your partner is in the horizon. Now, for those of you that are inquiring about somebody from your past, maybe there is a strong energetic pull. This huge physical attraction between you and the person that you're thinking about from your past, earth and water. So why this separation? I want to switch the deck. Just give me a second. Why the separation between earth and water? If there's so much attraction here, why is there separation? Single as a Pringle. Keep on catching. You're too funny. So earth and water, why the separation when there is an undenying attraction? We have the Knight of Cups, and she is a female in this deck. So this deck has the Knight and the Kings, if I'm not mistaken, both females and male. This Knight of Cups in the reverse is a female. The Three of Wands. I'm already getting the energy, and the Hermit. King of Swords, and is also a female in the reverse. Ten of Wands in the reverse. Nine of Wands in the reverse. So those of you that are dealing with somebody from the past, it's almost like this thing where you try to communicate with your person. You try to tell them what you feel you guys need, whether it's more time or more quality time together, whether it is that you want to go out more, whatever it is, right? And it's like you can talk until you're red in the face, excuse me, but nothing is happening. Nothing changes. Nothing grows. So even though the two of you are physically very attracted to each other, we have the Emperor in the reverse and the Knight of Pentacles. It doesn't grow. It doesn't evolve into anything. Because there is a lack here of, and we have the Tower in the reverse. So the problems are brought up, right? Okay, these are the issues that we're having. These are the issues that we have to work on. And it's a vice versa conversation, right? You're saying your part, they're speaking their part, and everything is laid out on the table, but then there's no actions being taken. Nobody is making the daily commitment to actually make this work. So there is, if you're separated and you're still talking to an ex, it's like the both of you know what is needed to rekindle this, to get back together, to make this work. But neither of you are willing at this moment in time to put the work in to make a relationship work. Whether it's the both of you or one of you. Someone is aware of the changes that is needed, but is unwilling to take those steps to change that. Hope that makes sense. So for those of you that are in a connection, earth and water, or situationship, we have the World, the Sun, the Knight of Wands. Be very careful not to let the little things fly or slide, they're saying. The Knight of Swords, the High Priestess. What do you mean not let the little things slide? And then the Strength. So if there are things that, hello, Brenna, I think that's how you say it, hello. So we're doing earth and water, and we are doing those that are in a connection. So for those of you that, oh, those of you that are in a relationship and are working, or everything has been going good, the communication is there, blah, blah, blah. You know, everything is flowing. Don't regress back to closing up. And for some reason, you may not like this, I feel it's like more of the water sign that might close up a little. I don't know why it's coming up in that sense. Where you may want to start closing up with your emotions. And I feel that this is coming from like a third party situation. Now, I'm not telling you that your person is cheating on you. That's not what I'm talking about. It's almost like families or friends are telling the person that you're dealing with, if they're a water sign, like they're doing too much in a relationship. Because they don't see what you do behind the scene. So your person may begin to listen to that advice and then start causing issues. Because we do have here the Lovers in the reverse. So if you're the one, and then we have the Hierophant, in the reverse, and the Empress in the reverse. So if someone is giving unsolicited advice about your relationship, either to you or to the person that you're dealing with, without having the entire story of something, whoever's receiving that advice is being told not to follow the advice that your family or your friends are giving to you. Because again, they're only seeing what you give and what you put, but they're not seeing what your person is putting in behind the scenes. So they really cannot make a judgment, and like an actual judgment on your connection when they're only seeing a part of it, right? So be very careful about listening to people that want to give you advice on your relationship when they don't have the full story. So now we're going to go earth and water, love connections. You got to get ready, sweetie, so we can leave later. Earth and water singles. What is this attraction and separation card? The Knight of Wands in the reverse, the Sun, and then the World came up again. You were dealing with some, I don't know why I gotta say it like this. Some iffy energy. So you may have been dealing with people that you found attractive, found you very attractive. They came in very fiery, and then they ghosted you, and you're like, what the heck? Like we literally like just talk to make plans or whatever, and it's like all of a sudden they're gone. And some of you are just like, nah, I'm not wasting my time. Three of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. You're not wasting your time anymore with that type of energy. So let's put this, for example, if you're doing like online dating. So is it, let me see. Let's see. Okay. I think we're back on. I don't know. It keeps freezing up. Is it going? Okay, it's going. So yeah, Brenna, I'm doing love connection. So I did earth and earth, water and water, air and air, fire and fire, and we're doing earth and water. Unfortunately, I am out of the country. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. Fortunately, I am out of the country, but the internet is kind of like on and off. So if I cut off completely for like more than 5 minutes, it's going to, it's probably because of light love, to be honest with you. So we do have rolling blackouts here in the Dominican Republic. But we are doing right now the earth and water love connections. So we do the past, the current, and those that are single. So those of you that are single, like let's say if you decided to do like online dating, like after like talking to somebody for like a week or something like that, like you're ready to meet them in person. There's this energy of like not wanting to waste your time. 6 of Cups in the reverse with the 3 of Cups. You're not wanting to waste your time like texting or talking to somebody and then getting ghosted. Maybe that was something that you experienced or something that you don't want to experience again. And you are, when it's the earth and water, when it comes to new love, new connections, you are being a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more selective as to who it is that you are connecting with. And you may hear from people that you're being dramatic or you're being too cold or whatever it is, but you're done with a certain energy that you were dealing with when it came to people ghosting you or people not showing up the way they said they were going to, and you've made up your mind as to what dating looks like to you. And what dating looks like to you cuts off more than like 80% of that and trying to distract you or is trying to come in. I hope that makes sense. We have not done fire and earth yet. That would be number 8. So we're moving on to water and air. So water and air love connections. Water and air love connection, which is number 6. So we have 10 in total that we have to do. So water and air, what is the energy for water and air? For those dealing with somebody from your past, then we're going to do current connections and those that are single. Heart-to-heart conversations between the water and air signs. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other and getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So, and don't hate me for this, water and air, if you're dealing with somebody from your past or somebody from your past is going to come in confessing their love to you, confessing everything that they did wrong to you, and confessing how they regret it, and you're just like, okay, sorry. And I say it that way because you're either, did it go back on? Let's see. The clock stopped, and I don't know why, because it's showing that I'm connected. Okay. So I feel that if somebody from your past is coming back in, you're just like, oh, thank you, but I moved past this. Oh, thank you, but I'm not interested. It's almost like everything you wanted to hear from this person, everything you wanted this person to, how you wanted this person to show up in the past is coming in, but you are uninterested in rekindling this. Because, you know, normally when I see this heart-to-heart conversation, I see two people like trying to get on the same page. But you're not trying to get on the same page. You're trying to get it to someone's thick brain that you're done with them because you're either already entertaining someone else or you're opening up yourself to entertain someone else. We have the Ace of Cups, the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse, and then the Death. You're done with this. I don't know what this person did to you, but you're not open, for those of you water and air signs, you're not open into getting back on that roller coaster. You're not. It's done and over with, but just know that this person is coming back towards you. Um, for those water and air that are in a current connection, and we have the heart-to-heart conversation and keep getting to know each other, what is the storyline for those water and air in a current connection? The Hermit. Girl, please. The Ace of Pentacles. And I don't mean girl like in the sense like female, but somebody is like, it's almost they're being reserved. Like, you know, and we talk about like outdated type of mentality when it comes to dating, where a female will go out to eat and she really wants to eat a fucking cheeseburger, but she's ordering a salad because she doesn't want the guy to think that that she eats too much or whatever. It's almost like that energy. Like, open up and just be yourself. All right? If you like your cheeseburger with a side of cheesy bacon French fries, eat your freaking cheeseburger with your cheesy bacon French fries, your loaded French fries in front of whoever it is. And it's almost like you're double checking yourself whenever you're with this person. Like, oh wait, is my clothes on right? Like, am I looking presentable? Like, is my makeup on point? Is it? And there's nothing wrong with wanting to present your best version of yourself. But to be honest with you, and with all jokes aside, I don't really wear makeup. I'm a huge lipstick and color tinted chapstick type of person, right? Sometimes I'll put like a little bit of mascara or whatever. But when I go out like in sweats and t-shirts and I don't put like chapstick on or anything like that, I get hit on more than when I'm all dolled up, right? Because that is my natural self. The most that I'm not saying that when I wear lipstick I'm not being my authentic self, but my most comfortable self is that sweats and t-shirts, no mascara, no lipstick, no anything on. Because lipstick is like all that I wear, and I mainly wear it every day. But when I look bummy, let's put it this way, to other people, is when I get hit on the most. Because it's not just my physical appearance that people are attracted to, right? It's my essence in all, right? Like my spirit, my charisma, whatever you want to call it, right? And that allows you to attract, let's put it this way, the correct person. God bless you, Papi. So you're being told to, no matter if you're gonna go watch a baseball game with the person that you're dating, or you're going to a fancy dinner, or you're going to a party, regardless of how you're dressed, regardless of what you're doing, you know, with your makeup or your clothes or whatever, just be yourself. Because there is a little timid energy here of somebody trying to be a little bit too perfect when it comes to this person. And it's almost like this person may end up expressing it to you. We have the King of Cups and we have the Emperor in the reverse. So it's almost like this person is either they notice it and they're trying to like give you confirmation, like, you know, you're beautiful, or whatever it is, or trying to make you feel more comfortable. Now, if you had issues in the past where somebody that you were with was constantly attacking the way that you look, or the way that you showed up in faces, that may be where this is coming from. This may be lingering from that. So needing to acknowledge that, needing to acknowledge it, and I'm not telling you that you have to go into like a big cleansing or anything like that. Be like, you know what, I acknowledge that I do this because of this. When I'm ready to release it completely, just allow it to release, right? We don't have to forcefully put ourselves in situations where we're constantly purging or constantly releasing. There is a time for that when we are led to like, okay, this is the issue, go deal with it. Some things are just simply acknowledging where the root cause of it is, and it clearly resolves on its own. We have the King of Wands and then the World. So again, needing to just be yourself. Just be yourself in this new connection. Let this person see you without makeup. Let this person see you with a messy bun. Let this person see you like how you are, right? And I don't know why this is coming up, and this may be a little bit too much information. Um, and again, and I've heard stories. I have a lot of guy cousins. I have a lot of guy cousins who have friends that I grew up with, and some of them would talk, and we would talk when we were younger and stuff, and we would talk about like females that would have sex, they would have sex with, and they would be wearing like a t-shirt, either because they had stretch marks or they had whatever, and they're like, you know, I would tell her like not to wear that because I love her body and this and this and that, but the female herself, she was insecure, she was self-conscious over her stretch marks, and it could have been because somebody else said something in regards to it, right? So the main gist of this, if you're in a relationship and the person that you're with is trying to make you feel comfortable, is trying to extend that energy to make you feel safe and secure, then let all that insecurity and all of that shit go. Like, we're past that, right? You've seen past that. You've passed that threshold, if that makes any sense. All right. So water and air singles, what do we have? Water and air. And I am going to be time stamping these guys when I am done. And I did the cusp earlier live. Those are uploaded and time stamped, and then the weeklies are also uploaded. So for those of you that are single, we have the King of Wands moving straight into the Ace of Wands. You are, why do I feel like you're going towards someone? The Wheel of Fortune. You're taking matters into your own hands. The Three of Swords, thus the Five of Pentacles. Whether it is that you're a female or you're a male, you saw the High Priestess. You saw someone you like, someone you're attracted to. And this is weird because I'm getting, normally you flirt through jokes, like making jokes or trying to make someone laugh or something like that. But you're being very direct with this person and like letting them know, like, you know what? I think we're a good fit. We should give this a try. Two of Pentacles, Two of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles. This may be somebody that you work with, someone that you're, because it's almost like they're always around, if that makes any sense. This can be a friend that is like a friend of the family, right? Like a friend to your cousins or a friend of your friend, but it's somebody that is always around and they're like been holding on, or maybe you've been holding on back as far as like letting this person know that you're interested. And it's almost like you're breaking the silence. For those of you that are single, someone is breaking the silence, coming up towards somebody else and telling them like, yeah, I think we should give this a try. Just letting you know. So we're gonna move on over to air and fire, love. Air and fire. So we're on number 7. And again, we have 10 in total. So air and fire. What are the 2 cards for air and fire? So now we're going with past energy, current energies for those of you in a current relationship, and new for those of you that are single. We have unrequited love here. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. And then on the flip side of that is give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. So this is kind of like a conflicting energy. No. There was a connection with somebody from your past, and this is exactly what I'm hearing. No, I don't want to hear it. No, thank you. You're not even letting someone apologize. You're not letting someone... Let me switch the deck. Because you're in this, whoever it is between this air and fire energy, Someone's like, I don't want to hear your sorry ass excuses. I don't want to hear it. I'm done. And someone is like, but give us a chance. And you're just like, nah, you have one chance too many. Princess of Swords, the Star in the reverse, and the Queen of Wands. Somebody is like, don't even come to me with your BS. Don't even come to me with your little sad story about how you were confused, how you weren't ready to be committed, and what, like it's 3 days later and now you're ready to be committed? Whoever this is for, you guys, you know, I be getting out there. Whoever this is for, air and fire, this relationship, someone is just like, no, I'm not. I'm not. You learned a lesson with this person. We have the High Priestess and we have the Four of Pentacles. And then we have the Two of Pentacles. Someone learned the lesson real quick with somebody from the past and you're just like, oh no. We're not falling for that again. Maybe somebody's still attached to somebody from the past. Not. Okay, and this is gonna, and we do have fucked up people like this in this world. Somebody may have been using you to get back to somebody from their past. And maybe caught feelings for you in the process, even though it wasn't their intention. But you're not a pawn, right? You're not a fucking toy to be played with. Like, you caught feelings, well, that's your problem, not mine. Because it's like the tables have switched here. We have the Seven of Wands in the reverse, the Magus, which would be the Magician in the reverse, and the Eight of Pentacles. Like, well, you know what? I'm not frustrated with you, Jocelyn, trust me. But it's almost like this energy, like, nah, you know, you had your chance. You see, like, he's still working on whatever it is that he has, like, on his lap, whatever he has at this moment in time, whatever is present, right? And whatever is on the floor, he's just like, it's part of it. You win some, you lose some. And this is just one that if you're dealing with somebody from the past, you're just like, nah, sweetie. You were a lesson. I learned it. Peace. Okay. So for those of you that are currently air and fire in a relationship, situationship, what is this unrequited love and give your relationship a chance about? Because again, it is this conflicting energy. We have the Two of Cups in the reverse. The Eight of Pentacles again in the reverse. I'm going to say it right. The Two of Swords in the upright. There's a manipulating energy here that whenever you're ready to call it quits, or whenever you're ready to walk out of something, this person wants to rush in and give you everything that you've been asking for, giving you everything that you wanted. Oh, I don't like that energy, Spirit. Four of Cups in the upright, the Temperance, and the Four of Swords in the reverse. So when they see that you're ready to move away from them, they see that you're ready to walk away from this connection, it's almost like they put their claws in you and pull you back. And you've tried to find peace. We have the Six of Wands within this connection, the Justice in the reverse. the Princess of Wands in the upper. You've tried to find a common ground within this connection. You've tried to compromise. You've tried to forgive this person over and over again. You've tried to shift your perspective. You've tried to understand this person. But at what cost? At what cost? You continue, for those air and fire that are in a relationship where you're continuously giving a person a chance and you're just so fucking drained and you're just like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. Why are you still doing it? Why are you still doing it? Let it go. I don't care how many years. I don't care how many kids. I don't care how many anything. If something is eating at your soul on a daily basis where you can tell the difference from your own emotions, your own feelings, that you're doubting yourself even when it comes to having, well, do I want to have coffee? Do I want to have tea? I have no fucking idea. I like coffee, but I also like tea. You can have both. I mean, I don't know if I'll advise you have them together. I've never tried that. But it's almost like that meant the stress of this connection gets you to that space where you cannot even make a simple decision as to whether you want to have tea or coffee. And someone, when they see that you're ready, or as soon as they see that you walked away, then they want to come and fulfill all their empty promises. And then you start to feel some type of balance within yourself, within the connection. And then it's like, boom, boom, I was just playing. Going right back to my old self. So if you want to see a cycle end, and you know that it's a cycle that needs to end, and the other person is unwilling to end it, there's nothing wrong with you ending it. So air and fire, for those of you that are single, what is this unrequited love and give your relationship a chance about? The Devil in the reverse, the Ace of Cups in the reverse, and the Seven of Swords in the upper. You're like, love? What is that? That's not in my vocabulary. I haven't been doing a lot of lives lately. I'll probably get more into it. Usually I've just been posting like Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I post a weekly. I'm doing live because I'm out of the country, and it's just like the easiest way to get the videos uploaded and up there. So air and fire, those of you that are single, you're just like, what is that? Love is not part of my vocabulary. Relationship is not part of my vocabulary. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I'm in a relationship, and I'm in a relationship with myself, you know? We have the Six of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. You're not contributing to a relationship. It's like and this is gonna sound so funny, but it's like somebody would ask you like, oh, let's meet up for coffee. And this can be a friend of whoever it is, somebody that's feeling you or whatever. And you're like, okay, we could meet at this day at this time, and you show up with your whole crew. Like, you don't show up by yourself, and it's almost like the person is looking at you like, I was asking you on a date, and you're like, oh, shoot. You should have been clear. I thought we were just meeting up for coffee to like catch up, and I invited the whole crew. So again, there is this sense of like, you're just not, you don't want a relationship. You don't want a relationship with anyone. I am picking up this flirty energy. Like I want to, you want to flirt with everyone, but you don't want it to pass from them. You're in a very, and I feel that's why people are probably approaching you and wanting to date you, because you're being very flirtatious, whether intentionally or not, but you do not want to be in a relationship. And you're making that very clear. So we're gonna move on over to, what deck is this? I'm trying to see because I only brought certain decks with me. We're moving to, where are we? Fire and Earth. So this Fire and Earth, love connection. Fire and Earth, love connection. And it's saying very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So we are going to go ahead and split it. Those of you dealing with somebody from the past, those of you that are in a current connections, and those of you that are single. So those of you dealing with a past person. So I am using the Nightmare Before Christmas deck. The present represents the pentacles. Sorry. The needles are the swords. Where's the other one? The candles are wands. And I'm just pulling them out just so I can let you guys know. And the potions are the cups. Okay? Because I'm not going to be stopping every few minutes to explain that. So if you're dealing with a past person, what is this very soon and love yourself first? The Three of Needles. The Star. Someone is regretting walking away from you. Someone underestimated you. The Two of Needles in the upright. So someone took for granted what you brought into a relationship. Someone took for granted the love that you gave. Someone took you for granted. There's regret here. We have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, the Hermit in the upright, and the Three of Potions. Now, this is what is interesting. Someone is butthurt in their feelings about, and again, this is if you're dealing with somebody from your past. Somebody is hurt about taking somebody for granted, not appreciating what they had when they had it, not realizing that in order for something to blossom or to grow, you actually have to water it, you have to feed it, you have to give it attention, you have to, nurture it. But they, at this moment in time, are not ready to admit that. At least not to you. Because there is almost this conversation of, like, we have the Magician in the reverse, like talking to other people. The Eight of Presents. And the Seven of Presents in the reverse. So it's almost like this energy, and I know you guys writing comments, I'll read them in a minute. It's almost this energy of like, okay, I fucked up, I did wrong, But can I come forward empty-handed? Can I come forward it's so fucked up. And I personally would say no. Everybody has their own point of view on what I'm about to say next. Can I come forward and work on this while we are together? Now, some people believe in being healers in relationships to other people. Now, when we talk about healing, there's a lot of dynamics, there's a lot to go into it, right? So there are things that we can mutually help heal each other, right? So if you have trust issues, right, a person can help you heal with those trust issues by actually showing up. It is not necessarily that you're telling the person, like, I have trust issues, I need you to show up. Mommy, baja la bone, ching ching, please. So it's not necessarily that you're telling your person, like, don't, I have trust issues, okay. You acknowledge that you have trust issues, but you also have to give that person the benefit of the doubt. What I'm talking about here is somebody knows their faults on something. They want to fix it, but just not right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm dealing with this? So somebody knows what they have to work on in a relationship to make a relationship successful, whether it is with you or with any, like, it doesn't matter whether they go back to you or they start dating 10 other different people, it's going to be the same issue. They are unwilling to work on that at this moment in time. So it's almost like they want to come back to you and have you wait until they're ready to deal with this. And to that, I say no. Sorry. What do I look like? Now, if you're in that process of working through your issues and you're making the changes and you're taking those steps to better yourself in that way, you're more than welcome in my space. So we'll take somebody that is an addict, right? If you have somebody that is an alcoholic and has been in Alcoholic Anonymous for 3 years, they've gone without alcohol. They're going to come to you and they're going to say, you know what, I'm an alcoholic. I've been clean for 2 years, 3 years, etc. Now, are you going to turn that person away because they're an alcoholic and because they're working on it, because they're aware of it, they're making you aware of it, what situations they're not comfortable with, etc., because it may trigger them into drinking, right? It's a different story. Now, if you have an alcoholic that comes to you and it's like, well, I'm an alcoholic and I know it and I'm not willing to change now. If you want to stick around until I'm done and ready to change it, then what are you really doing with that? So acknowledging the issue or acknowledging a problem is just the first step. So if you're dealing with somebody from the past that admits their faults or admits what has to change within a relationship, a connection, but are unwilling to take those steps forward, you know what you're getting yourself into if you allow them back at this moment in time. Instead, focus that energy back on yourself with that self-love, right? That self-respect. So fire and earth, those that are currently in a connection, we have the Star, the Knight of Potions in the reverse, the Six of Presents in the reverse, and the Four of Needles in the reverse. The King of Needles in the reverse, and the Seven of Candles in the upright position. For those of you that are still dealing with this person, whether it's a situationship where you guys just hook up from time to time or talking or whatever, connected with this person or you're still in this connection, but emotionally you've been checked out a long time ago, whether you're aware of it or not. You've been checked out of this connection. And the other person may be working on trying to communicate with you, trying to be on the same page with you, but something is just off. And this may have been that, that period that this person had you. We have the Chariot in the reverse, where this person had you waiting. And we have the Knight of Needles. This person was stringing you along. This person had you waiting. This person had you waiting. This person had you waiting. And you were still there. And I want to say that you were still there more physically than anything else, because emotionally, again, unaware of it, you started to detach. And sometimes it does take a person for you to detach in order for them to realize or to recognize where they're not showing up in a relationship, to wake up, right? And that could be what is happening in this moment. But again, it's like you may not be seeing the changes in this person as it's happening because you are emotionally detached, even if you're still physically with them. And for those of you that are single, fire and earth. And then we have two more. We have earth and air and fire and water, guys, before we close it down. So single, fire and earth. The Nine of Potions in the reverse, the King of Presents in the upright, and the Temperance in the reverse. No. This past connection, relationship, your most recent ex, whatever it is, left this sour taste in your mouth that you're just like, you know what? Put that over there. Put that on hold. We have the Queen of Potions, the Six of Needles, right? In the reverse. And the Eight of Needles in the reverse. You're not looking to restart the same. I'm just reading the comments, guys. You're not looking to restart the cycle again with someone new. So, for years, maybe an exaggeration, you were on a hamster wheel. And you may have dated different people, whatever it was, but it was all the same bullshit. It all started the same, it went the same in the middle, you learned the same lessons, but you kept on going. And it's like, you finally got off the hamster wheel again without even realizing it, and you're just kind of like looking at your feet like, why am I still trying to run? Like, I'm standing still. And you're realizing like, oh shit, I don't have to go back to that. I don't have to stay in connections that are like that. Now, getting used to walking again without the assistance, let's put it this way, of the hamster wheel, and getting to choose the direction that your life is going to go on may be a little scary, may be a little different, but it will bring you specifically to what it is that you want, to what it is that you desire. Because when you finally decide to break a cycle, that is one of the biggest ways that you can show self-love to your. It's not from a scared place of like not wanting to be single, not being afraid of being single. Then you're able to open up and be like, you know what, Spirit, God, Mother Earth, whatever it is that you believe in. You know what? This is what I want, and I open myself up to. But you're opening up yourself from a healed place, which then allows you to attract someone completely different. Not someone that is going to string you along. And I don't have, let's put it this way, let's make this very clear. Every single person that goes into a relationship has some type of baggage, some type of healing that will be healed in that relationship, whether they are aware of it or not. And that is not what we're talking about. We're talking about people that are unwilling to go through that process, to experience healing. So in a sense, they want to stay in that I'm a victim or whatever, or like I was hurt, so I'm going to hurt other people. And they almost feel like if you love them as much as you say you do, then you will stay and allow them to to continuously hurt you without taking any accountability. I'm a Capricorn, girl. But that's kind of like the gist of here, right? And you're realizing, what was it that somebody told me once? And it was one of my cousins, and this was years ago. And she said there's a difference between being in love and loving someone. That's true. The baby's crying. He doesn't want to go to sleep. You can love someone and not be in love with them, right? Because the in love part comes from the day-to-day care, the day-to-day nurturing between you and your partner. The day-to-day comes with the caring for each other, the expressing the love towards one another. So I'm not saying that you don't love this person from the past. But you love them, but you're not in love with them. And is that enough for you? Because that's enough for some people. For a lot of you, you're realizing that just loving someone is not enough. And that's fine. You want to experience that in love energy, that energy of both of you being able to show up for one another. Both of you being able to be submissive, not you needing to be submissive to them. Because again, submissive is a word that a lot of people have put a negative, how do you call it? Like a negative energy to, when in reality it's not, right? If you want somebody to be submissive, then you yourself have to submissive too. Now, does that mean that if your person says jump, you're going to ask how high? That's not what we're talking about. And it's how you're taking it, then this message is not for you. So needing to get to that point of like, okay, is this a connection that is healthy? Is this a connection that is allowing me to grow, right? Is this person, when they're criticizing whatever it is, like your channel, whatever it is, are they doing it from a healthy place? Are they doing it because they want to see me doing better? Or are they doing it because they're trying to tear me down? Because a person can give you, two different people can give you the same criticism, right? And one of them can come out in a constructive way, or this person is saying that, like, it's all about how you say things, right? It's not so much about what you say, it's how you say it a lot of the times. And a lot of the times people say things to tear you down when other people say it to lift you or to help you grow and see where it is, like to see maybe the potential that you're not using or whatever it is. So that is kind of like, oh, I froze. Sorry guys, I didn't even notice that I froze. So that is kind of like the distinguishing energy that you're seeing when it comes to relationship, when it comes to love. Like you can love somebody and continue to love them, but the love is not going to be the same as when you're in love with them. So like personally, I am divorced, and if anybody asks me, do you love your ex-husband? Hell yeah. And I would tell him, I would tell anybody he's dating, I love him. Like I will be there for him. But I'm not in love with him. You get what I'm saying? Because we're not together. So there is no day to day of working in a relationship, of working in a romantic relationship. Let's put it this way. We work together, we communicate when it comes to our kids, the decisions that we're making, what is best for us as a family and I know it gets confusing. People are like, well, how can you be a family if you're divorced? We're still family. We got 4 kids and 2 dogs together. We're family. And if whoever he's dating or I'm dating doesn't like that, get used to it, right? But it's kind of like that distinguishing. So just because I love him, right, doesn't mean that I can't fall in love with someone else. Doesn't mean that I can't learn to love someone else. Because the love that I have for him has matured, but in a different way, right? It's no longer that love like I need you, I want you, you're just fine, you can't be with anybody. It's none of that anymore. And that's kind of like the energy that a lot of you are starting to realize. So we're going to move into earth and air. So earth and air love connection. So we're going to pull out 2 cards. We're going to start off with the past, the current, and you guys have 3 cards, so I'm just gonna give it to you. So past, current, and those of you that are single. So we have forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership and engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So for those of you dealing with somebody from your past, earth and air, there is this sense of wanting to reconcile. There is this sense of wanting to there is this sense of trying to give something a chance. Why am I hearing the timing wasn't right? If you're dealing with somebody from your past, the timing wasn't right. Their focus, your energy was on a third party situation. I'm not talking, when I say third party, I don't necessarily mean that they were cheating or they were with someone else. There was something that was taking priority over the connection. So this could have been their job, their school, whatever it was. There was something that required a lot of time and energy, and they just didn't know how to prioritize things. So we have the 2 of Swords, the 10 of Swords. Well, what is different this time around? Maybe what you're asking, the 3 of Cups. And it's in the reverse, like how do I know that this time our relationship is going to be our priority for this person? How do I know that this time around this person is actually going to show up? We have the Justice, we have the 6 of Coins in the reverse with the 9 of Swords. You're going to have trust. We have the 2 of Cups. It's too risky. The 6 of Swords. For those of you dealing with somebody from the past, when they come forward, you're going to let them know that to you at this moment in time, it's too risky to start something new again. It's too risky to pick up where things were left off. I do feel that you're offering almost like an olive branch, like, okay, we can be friends, we can get to know each other, but that's all I can offer at this moment in time. We have the 8 of Cups, the 4 of Coins in the reverse, the Knight of Coins, and the Ace of Wands in the reverse. So somebody is very clear on not wanting to rekindle something. And if you choose not to rekindle it, just know that this person is going to be very persistent. This person wants back in. The Hierophant in the reverse and the Knight of Cups, your stories between you and this person is not over. The 2 of Wands, and we have the Lovers in the reverse. So you may reject this person, but at the end of the day, for those of you dealing with somebody from the past, this person is going to wear you down. So for those of you that are currently in a connection, earth and air, that past person is coming in and well, how do we say in Spanish? Un callo, like like a callus, right? That just doesn't want to give up. So for those of you in a current connection, we have the Three of Coins, the Nine of Coins, building, or some of you may be talking or starting to talk about moving in together, the Three of Cups, combining your living space, or it's almost, I don't know, it comes up like this. Somebody's not giving someone a drawer, but like an entire dresser at their place. Somebody's making room in their physical home, their space, in order to allow the other person to feel more at home. Because with this engagement, and it's not necessarily like you're getting engaged, and if you are, congratulations. It's more of like, if you are uncertain as to where this connection was going, or if this was growing into something, or where you guys stood when it came to, you know, commitment. So like that is being put to rest with the Three of Swords in the reverse, the Ace of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Knight of Swords. So whatever confusion you had within this relationship, whatever was kind of up in the air when it comes to commitment or whatever, is being, with the Empress, the Ten of Cups, it's being clarified. Whether it is that you initiate the conversation or the other person initiates a conversation, because there is a pulling back here. The Tower comes in. I'm not looking at it as this destructive energy, or this energy of like causing this relationship to break or anything like that. This Tower moment is that moment in time when this connection moves into the next level. Whether, and for some of you, again, it's coming during a time where you're not 100% certain where you stand with someone. Why am I getting this energy of like you guys never really had a conversation, and now all of a sudden somebody's talking about like wanting to move in together, or like giving you a key of their place or something like that. So it's like the questioning that you were asking yourself about where you two stand is like being answered in a very like dramatic or like surprised way, if that makes any sense. You have the Ten of Coins, the Four of Wands, and the Justice. The Six of Coins, the Nine of Swords. So this worrying about where you stand within a relationship, this worrying about if this is going to move into something, that is all being left behind. Commitment is being set and is being given, or is being communicated very clearly, where there is no more what are we or any more questions. So Earth and Air, those of you that are single, what is this? Forgiving and learning. Give your relationship a chance, and the engagement. We have the Star in the reverse, the Four of Swords in the upright, the Seven of Swords. You're taking a, I was gonna say you're taking a break, but it says you're taking a time out from love and relationship. Alright guys, it looks frozen, but it's still going, so I'm just gonna keep going. For those of you that are single, you're taking a time out from relationships. The last connection that you were in, it just drained the fuck out of you. We have the Six of Cups and the Ace of Coins. It was almost like you had to, we have the Queen of Coins, the Princess of Wands, and then we have the Judgment in the reverse. You two, for those of you that are single, maybe you made plans with someone and nothing happened. Maybe you made plans and they just kind of fell apart, is what I'm picking up. And you're just taking, because it feels very heavy, not so much in my heart, but in my mind, like you're just taking a mental break from relationships. We have the Eight of Cups in the reverse, the Ten of Wands in the upright, and then we have the Ace of Wands. You're just choosing to take a break from relationships, and that's pretty much. I don't feel like you're so much upset about, because it doesn't really feel, and it's weird, it doesn't really feel very emotional. It's just more like your mind space. Like, you know what? I just need a break from being in connections or being in relationships with people. Like, you just kind of want to just clear the energy is what I'm picking up. There's something that's just off, or something was off about your last relationship or connection. You're just like, you know what? Let me be clear of what it is that I want before I go ahead and try. So the Hanged Woman, the Hermit, again, you're taking a step back when it comes to love. The Nine of Wands, you're trying to first realize what it is that you truly are looking for in a connection or relationship before jumping into something or even setting that intention. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Fire and water, which is the last one. Fire and water, love connections. I don't need that many cards. Fire and water. So we're going to pull out 2 oracle cards. Love yourself first and then very soon. And this came out for someone else. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you. So fire and water, dealing with the past person. What do we have? Past person, what do we have? The Seven of Swords with the Four of Swords. Still processing what happened. We have the Wheel of Fortune. What are you processing now? The Ten of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Hanged Woman, and the Hermit. The Hanged Woman is in the reverse, the Hermit is in the upright. When you're dealing with somebody from the past, it's like, how can somebody promise so much and deliver so little? And you're really taking that to heart if you're dealing with somebody from the past, because it really took you a very long time to open up to this person. And you open up, we have the Seven of Coins and then the Temperance in the reverse, and then they go ahead and they fuck it up. We have the World in the reverse. You're just like, Six of Wands in the reverse. You just, and then the Sun. You're trying to make sense of the reasoning why you were in a relationship with someone from your past, what it was that you were meant to learn in that connection, why they couldn't follow through. But it's almost like it's, to be honest with you, if you're focusing so much on somebody from I didn't work out, and like now my entire left side of my face is hurting, you're just gonna drive yourself crazy because this person is not, they're not being open. There's something about like their intention in that moment in time was there to follow through with certain things. And then they got scared. Whoever this person is somebody that whenever they get scared that they're getting too close to somebody, their natural response, and I'm not saying it to justify their actions, but when it comes to love, maturity is not there. So when they find themselves catching feelings or opening up to someone, they do something to jeopardize it. Now, that is not to make an excuse for you to sit down and wait for anybody. That's not what I'm saying. But that is the energy that I'm picking up. So fire and water that are in a current love connection. What is this? Love yourself and very soon. We have the Ten of Wands, the Three of Wands in the reverse, and the Queen of Coins in the upright position. Some of you may be in a talking stage with somebody, really nothing too serious. This may be casual dating, you know, really getting to know each other, but nobody in this connection has, because we have a King of Swords and the Queen of Wands in the reverse, so nobody has really, and then we have the Empress. So nobody has really asked like where is this going or where this is at. Both of you want to know where this is at or where this is going. But there is a, well, if I say something, I'm going to spook them off. So we have the King of Wands with the Eight of Coins in the reverse and the Princess of Wands in the reverse. So it's like, okay, if I go out, I want to be exclusive, am I going to scare them off? That's kind of like, so it is kind of like a childish energy, but it's coming from both of you. And why do my eye circles are so dark, and they're really not that dark. I think it's just the lighting. I should turn on the light out here, right? But it's almost like, okay, just ask. If you want to be exclusive with someone that you've been dating or talking to, or you've been getting to know or whatever, like, then just say it. And if they don't want to be exclusive, then guess what? You leave it at that and you let it go, right? But don't waste your time in something where you're like up in the air and you don't know where it's going. Because then to you, it just seems like it's a waste of time. And then it's like, then you start to close yourself up again. And it takes a hard time for you to open up. So if you've been talking to somebody, seeing somebody for like a couple of months or whatever, and you're just like, you know what, I want to be exclusive with this person, but I don't know where they stand, then speak. Unless you don't ask, you're not going to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can speculate in your mind all you want. You can make up all these scenarios and shit, but unless you ask, you're not going to know. So, fire and water singles. Fire and water singles. And then Jocelyn and Brennan, and I think there was one other person that was with us, Rose, I think it was. If you have a question, I can pull some cards and I'll interpret them as they come out. So we have fire and water, and we're doing singles, and then we're closing it off for those that have questions. We have the Ace of Cups in the reverse, the Three of Cups in the upright, and the Six of Swords. And again, I am not in my house. I am out of the country. Mommy! Baja la bon chin chin. We yell here. We don't talk. We yell, right? So it's like she's not even outside with me, and you can hear her clearly. For those of you that are single, fire and water, I feel that you are open to a relationship. You're open to love coming in, but we have the Death, we have the Chariot, and we have the Six of Cups. You're not intentionally looking for it. So it's almost like if love goes ahead and finds you, it finds you, but that's not where your intention or your focus is. You're not closing up to it. I feel that you may be telling yourself like every morning, like, you know, I'm open to love, I'm open to love. Like, you know, just because I'm not actively there chasing people doesn't mean that I'm not open. But it's just not. We have the Four of Wands. I feel like you're not obsessing over a relationship. We have the Queen of Cups and the Fool. But you are definitely, if someone that catches your eye or your attention shows up and offers you something, you'll go for it. I don't feel like you are, I don't want to say that you're not single by choice, but relationship or love or whatever is not what you are obsessing about. You're like, if somebody comes, fine. If they don't, they'll come when the time is right. And that's really the energy that I'm picking up for the singles, fire and water. So now, if you guys that are in the chat have a question, I will go ahead and answer it. Rose, you said yes or no. Does Karen still see me as Bella from Twilight? And it took me a minute to think about that about that question, because I'm like, okay, but is Karen the vampire or the werewolf, right? Because there's two different endings for both, right? So I'm gonna answer, setting the intention. So I'm answering Rose's question. Rose up ahead asked if Karen, I don't know who Karen is, still sees her as Bella from Twilight. Thank you, Mommy. And if you have a question, oh, I froze again. And sometimes it doesn't even show that it froze. Sometimes it doesn't even show that it froze, to be honest with you. So for Rose, yes or no, Spirit? So I was saying, Brenna, if you have a question that you would like me to answer, anything, you can just put it down. And I'll try to answer it. And you too, Jocelyn, and then we'll go ahead and we'll close up. Okay. So for Rose, you were asking about how Karen sees you. Oh, that's weird. We have the Ace of Cups in the reverse and the Six of Cups in the upright position. There, and then we have the followed by the Wheel of Fortune. So there is a tug of war as far as questioning or asking why they still have feelings for you, or why they still want to come back towards you. We have, after the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Strength and the Nine of Cups. There is a fighting of the feelings or the emotions towards you with the Tower in the reverse. We have the Knight of Wands and then the Ten of Swords. It's not until they're, so it's like their feelings themselves have not changed, but the expressing of the feelings is not coming out until they have fought that internal battle that they're fighting, until they surrender to the feelings. Because there is somebody here of like, in a logical sense, trying to talk themselves out of the feelings that they have for someone else. And that's the way that it's coming up. And that was for Rose regarding your question about parents. So, Jocelyn, what do we have? Custody battle and worries about custody battle and money. So we'll do custody battle for the first spread, and then we'll do money for the second spread. Four of Wands, Queen of Wands, the Eight of Cups. You have to be very careful when you go for custody that you're not allowing your emotions to get in the way. What it is that you are seeking, you will get, as long as you are not. And I know this is going to sound weird. Some people will be like, oh, well, emotions are there. Yes, emotions are there, but there is a place and time for everything. When you go in front of a judge to dispute something and you get emotional, unfortunately, that usually backfires, right? The judges want to know the factual things. And whatever it is that you have to do in order to prepare yourself to go there mentally, logically, with facts and not allowing your emotions to outburst, is what you need to do. So whether you have to take a bath the night before, whether you have to meditate, whether you have to write down your point of view or the things that you want to bring across, so that you are prepared. The only thing that can sabotage you as far as like not getting what you are seeking in custody is if you start to point finger from an emotional aspect and not from a factual place. So stay very factual when it comes to what you are presenting and what it is that you're asking from the judge in regards to custody. And if you stay like that, we have the Fool in the reverse with the Seven of Swords in the upright, and then the Star. So when you're not running into something based on just solely your emotions or your disagreement with how things have turned out to this point, but instead you're calm and collective and you're coming in with facts, then everything works in your favor. So you can jeopardize this if you go highly emotional and are just trying to point the finger or trying to put blame, let's put it this way, on the other parent without any solid evidence. And I talk about this a lot, so I don't know when you're getting to court, but if it is after I get back to the States, I mean, I'll definitely shoot you a text when I get back to the state if you want to look into this a little bit more. But it's like your emotions can get the best of you. And can lead. Yeah, so you have to go facts, right? Because at the end, you're gonna look at the facts, and if you're very emotional and you're attacking the other parent, that is a fact, right? Emotionally, you're not stable. Emotionally, like your emotions are taking over. So it's kind of like that aspect of things. That is what your biggest hindering can be. So go with the facts and things are going to work in your favor. It's like whatever it is that you're asking for when it comes to custody is going to work in your favor as long as you're going with factual things. Yeah, we do. When it comes to money, we have the Two of Swords, the King of Cups. Now, is this money in regards to like child support that you're seeking for? Because when it comes to money, we have the Two of Swords, the King of Cups in the reverse, and the Six of Swords in the upright. There is an emotional, okay, just general. So because the way that it's coming in is that there is an emotional attachment to money. Whether it is somebody that has to give you money and they're upset over having to give you money, or this is you, I don't know, because it's almost like either help is somebody is offering or is going to be offering some type of financial help, and there's almost this like I don't want handouts type of energy, even though the person that is offering to help you financially is not seeing it as a handout. So this could be like one of your sisters or something, like somebody wants to lend you a hand and you don't want to be anyone's pity party is what I'm picking up. And what happens is sometimes Spirit, God puts certain people in your life to help you, to allow you to open up to help. So if someone is trying to help you financially, and now we're talking about somebody that is just like coming over like with a gift, right? Like, I won this, like playing the lottery or scratches, like here's like $200 or whatever. Like don't take it like they're taking pity on you. It's more like they just want to share what they have with you. Oh, you and your sister are not speaking at this moment? Because that's like kind of like the energy. Like somebody has something that they want to share with you, but you don't want anything. Four of Cups. You don't want anything to do with it. You're just like, oh fuck no, I'm not falling for that trap. Like, you with the Eight of Wands, like you stay over there. So let's see about your own finances. How are those changing? Let's say within the next couple of weeks. Um, oh, so we have the Ace of Coins with the Ten of Swords. So it may be that money hasn't been steady, whether it is the way that it's coming, or maybe you may feel that you're spending, or every time you have a certain amount, it almost feels like as easy as it comes is leaving. That is like more like the past current energy. And then we have the Star in the reverse. The Ten of Wands. And the King of Cups. Again, there's an emotional attachment when it comes to money, is what I'm picking up. And it may be that, you know, when you were talking about like the greed and stuff, like somebody may feel that you don't deserve a certain amount, or that you don't, because there's emotion here attached to money, but it's affecting you in general. We do have the Justice and the Two of Coins in the reverse, and then the Nine of Swords. So if this is about settling, let's say, inheritance and things like that, it is gonna cost, it is coming at a cost, adrift, not with just one family member. It's including more than one person. But justice is going to be served. So how are her finances going to change in the next couple of weeks? Can we move into new energy? The King of Swords and the Judgment in the reverse. You're gonna have to stand up. If there is inheritance and stuff like that, if you don't have a lawyer at this moment in time, then needing to either get a lawyer or needing to file the paperwork that needs to be filed, regardless of who's gonna get pissed, regardless of who's gonna have their opinion, or regardless of whose feelings are going to be hurt. It is not something for you to sit around and allow your other siblings to decide. It's almost like you have to take action in this situation if an inheritance is present. Because if you sit down and you wait with the Two of Wands, I feel like they'll make sure that you don't get anything. We have the Death and the Three of Swords. So in order to settle this, in order to get this worked out, you're gonna have to unzip your mouth, and you're gonna have to go ahead and start moving, whether it is getting an attorney, whether it is that you have to file some type of paperwork or whatever it is, Jocelyn. But if you kind of leave this in the air, it's like nothing is gonna work in your favor. This is kind of like when we talk about like the universe meets you halfway. Well, this is one of those things where you have to take the initiative and start something. So Brenna, we have mine is when I start seeing a change in my life. I feel like I've been on a roller coaster for the past 3 years. Now, before I even pull out cards for you, Brenna, this is something that is very common to a lot of people. One of the things that I'm going to ask you is, do you celebrate small accomplishments? Whether it's a change in perspective, whether it's a physical change, any type of growth within yourself, any type of ascension within yourself, any type of evolution, whatever it is within yourself. Because a lot of times when we don't celebrate those small victories, we fail to realize and we fail to see how far along we've actually come. We fail to see how much we've actually grown. So you may have to take inventory as what you have accomplished in the whatever time frame, the past 3 years, and you have to change your everything is crumbling. And the reason why I say take note of everything that you've grown through the last past 3 years. And we were talking about this, I think, in one of the cusp reading, I don't remember, where when we start to grow and we start to evolve and we start to open up, we have here the Two of Cups in the reverse and the King of Coins in the upright and the Ace of Swords in the reverse. When he is crying, like he does not want to go to sleep, guys. When you start to open up into energy coming in, right? The energy that you've been working towards, whether, being more positive, whatever it is, right? When we initially start that journey, it usually always comes at a cost. And I'm doing it like this because it's really not a cost, right? It's an exchange of energy. So in order to allow new to come in order to allow that new energy, that new perspective, those emotions, and again, I apologize, the baby is crying. She's trying to soothe him, but he's just like, I'm not going to sleep, grandma. In order to allow all of that to come in, and in order to allow that to build up and to continue growing, this that was here, that was a survival, right? It was needed in order to survive. At some point or another, it has to crumble down, and it has to disappear, because the energy that is coming in, what you have been celebrating, how you have been growing, is no longer about surviving, but about living and thriving. So, and then this is like, sometimes it gets a little, because we do have the Three of Cups in the reverse, the Strength, and then the Death. So, us, meaning humans, what is it called? It has put you in a depressed state and you used to be happy. Now, you have a choice as to how you choose to see the situations that are crumbling down around you. Are you seeing them, or are you choosing to see them as something that you're actually losing? Or are you seeing it as space being made for what you have asked for what you have been working towards? And it's not always that cut and clear, very quick and very simple right there and that, right? And as someone that went through a very dark period in my life when I first left work, I went into a massive, huge depression. Like, I thought I was never going to get out of it, right? And I had to realize that it wasn't happening to me, it was happening for me. I always asked to be financially independent. I always asked I wanted a bigger role to fulfill, right? And even though as a nurse, I made very good money and I was helping people and I was doing all of this thing, it wasn't to my fullest potential. And I was taken out of work for medical reasons. And in that moment that I was in that, I couldn't see where it was that I was going to be. I couldn't see what it is that I'm doing now, right? But I didn't hold on to, how can I put it? I wasn't constantly asking what was ahead of me or why was it happening. I was asking more for the strength to continue on moving forward, to the strength to coming out of that in that moment in time. Because we are conditioned since very young, right? To feel certain ways, right? Whether it's happy or depressed or whatever, based on our outside circumstances. When in reality, it is our inner alignment that reflects what is going on around us. Now, what do I mean by that? Different people, depending on where they are, right, where they are in their life, right? You may be feeling disconnected to your higher self or to your spiritual self. But it's a battle of the mind, right? It's a battle and now that I'm talking to you, like I've been thinking about bringing back something that I did a couple of years ago, called the growth movement, that really allows us as individuals to really go deep within ourselves, and it's kind of like recalling different parts of our souls that were left behind in relationships and jobs and things that kind of almost feels like there's a part of you missing, because that's pretty much what happens when we're in this state of depression, right? You're really, you can think of certain things that may get you to that point, but you're not really getting to the underlying aspect of it. And for you, and I don't mean any offensiveness or anything like that, have you, this is gonna sound crazy. Everything I say sounds crazy. Have you gotten to a space where you've surrendered to the feeling or the emotion, let's put it this way, of depression, without judging it or without putting yourself down? Now, when I say that, I don't mean, being suicidal or anything like that, but more of like acknowledging, like, okay, this is how I am feeling, and I know that everything passes, right? Everything comes in season. But instead of fighting it, and this is something that I talk about a lot when it comes to like the narcolepsy, right? The minute that I stopped fighting it, and I acknowledged it and I honored it as part of myself and didn't see it as something negative, it no longer had that hold on me. So I was just reading your comment. So that may be something that when, and again, the time is gonna be, you're gonna do it when you're ready, right? Like, okay, you know that you're more depressed than you normally have been. Now you have to work within that space as to why you're blaming yourself. If, and I always use these things as example, because sometimes we are so harsh on ourselves that we wouldn't even dare to be half as harsh on someone else. So if someone else came to you and told you that they were depressed and they were feeling that type of way or whatever, what would be your advice to that person? And that advice that you would give that person is usually the advice that you should be giving to yourself or that you should be following. Now, we all make mistakes. We all, and mistakes are is part of life, right? That's how we learn to grow. That's how we learn to evolve. But with you, it's here. It's all in your mind, in the sense that whatever is being crumbling, whatever is burning down, whatever is being released, is to make space for the new. And we have to sometimes just learn to surrender, because if you surrender in this moment in time, like, you know what, yes, I am depressed. Yes, I have been blaming myself. I acknowledge that I have been, putting more blame on myself. I've been talking down to myself. I've been doing this to myself, and I am ready to change, and I want to change, then you are not just acknowledging what you're feeling, but you're also setting the intention as to how you're going to fix it. And that in itself is a leap, is that first step forward, where then the universe is like, okay, they get it, okay, now this is what we're going to start doing to get ourselves out of this situation. And that is going to be, that is, so the same way that you're there for other people when they're depressed, you need to be there for yourself without judging yourself. You need to nurture yourself. You need to care for yourself the same way that you show up for other people. So personally, like when other people are depressed and when other people are going through a hard time, I am that person that is there, that is constantly like, you know, I'm that ear that they listen to. I am the one listening to them. So, of course, it's not for everyone. I do talk to myself, and I'm very open about it. But sometimes I don't want to talk to myself. So what do? I write myself a letter, right? Because then it allows me, sometimes we have to just get things off our chest. And if we don't have somebody that we feel comfortable at this moment in time, for whatever the reason, there's no judgment here, right? Because again, every choice or every decision that you make, somebody's going to find a trauma or something in connection to it. And that's not what we're talking about here. We're not trying to put blame into anything. Sometimes we just have to get things off our chest, right? Sometimes you do it with somebody else, sometimes you do it with yourself. You have to listen or read it from a non-judgmental place, where you have to kind of like look at it like, okay, I get it. Okay. And then you have to recognize what patterns are being created with that, or what behaviors are being created with that emotion that then are not allowing you to move forward, right? So personally, when I was in that very heavy depression state in my life after I was taken out of work, my water intake decreased a lot. And it's something so logical, something so simple. But the less water that I consumed, the worse and worse that I felt. And one spirit showed to me, like, drink water, and I'm like sitting there like, what the fuck is water gonna do? Like, I literally feel like shit. Like, I feel like my entire livelihood is gone to shit, right? Like, I can no longer say I'm a nurse or whatever, because I can't freaking work as a nurse. But I listened to spirit, right? I started getting my water in. And it wasn't that I was feeling amazing or great or anything like that right away, but I did start physically feeling a little different, like, oh, we're up to something. Then spirit was like, okay, let's start paying attention to what you're eating. Let's start paying attention to what you're watching. Let's start paying attention to what you're scrolling through on your phone. Let's take a break from this. Let's start reading this. And it was like little gradual things, right, that I started doing. And I wasn't so focused on wanting to get rid of the depression, because once I acknowledged that it was there, once I acknowledged that it had become part of my day-to-day and that I wanted to change that, spirit was like, okay, you want to change it? I'm going to guide you. Now, again, we talk about in this world, everything is instant, right? A lot of things, personally, when we're growing, when we're moving away from certain things, are not going to come like that. So the best advice, because again, we're talking here, and I keep on getting this mental battle for you, is either starting to journal and see what it is that, because it's going to be something completely unrelated or not what you're thinking. So it can be that spirit tells you, you know what? You need to start taking a 10-minute walk around the block every night before bed. Or you need to start taking 5 minutes every morning when you wake up to just sit in silence. It may be something that may seem completely like, how the fuck is that gonna help me? You wanna know how that's gonna help you? It's going to allow you to connect and get direct information or direct guidance into what it is that needs to be done next, right? Because certain battles that we fight, especially when we talk about like mental battles, right, with depression and things like that, anybody can give you advice, anybody can give you tools, but until your spirit is not ready to combat that or to face that, even medication, even talking to therapists, even whatever. Like I see people that actually have gotten worse with medication. That is not me saying not to go see a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist. That is not what I'm saying, right? But it does happen, right? So if you really feel in that way, maybe talking to a therapist if you don't want to go on medication, where you can just vent, right? Because sometimes that's all you need. And if you are on medication and you don't want to be on medication anymore, then, asking spirit, like, when the time is right to start decreasing the meds, let me know. Because again, when we get into the whole spiritual aspect of things, sometimes we want to cut everything off. And just because something is shown to you or is revealed to you at this moment in time, it does not mean that it's something that is going to manifest or that is going to happen the very next day. Sometimes there is a road or a path that you have to take in order to get there, right? So that is definitely okay. So you don't want to be on meds, and I completely respect that, right? Personally, I'm not on meds by choice. My body decided it didn't want to be on meds, and I'm being completely honest about it. Um, but it does take a lot of mental strength, believe it or not, to combat or to live with those depressive episodes in your life. And one of the things that really has helped me personally is having those moments of silence when I allow spirit to speak to me directly. Now, if you feel like your depression is going to affect everybody around you, not just your kids. It's going to affect your relationships with friends, your relationship with everything. I don't know exactly how old your kids are. When I was going through my thing, my kids were fairly young. I mean, they were still in elementary school. But I personally am a very vocal and open person with my kids because I feel that, and it's not about putting, because you're open with your kids and you're honest with your kids, you're not putting the responsibility on them, right? Okay, 11 and 14. You're not putting the responsibility on them of taking care of you because a lot of people kind of misunderstand that, right? But being honest with them, like, you know what, today's just not a good day. Like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna give myself, you can say like a timeout. Like, I need to go and be by myself for a couple of hours. Dinner is ready, this is ready, that's ready. Any emergency, come and get me. And I personally don't see anything wrong with that. Some people may say that's you putting your problems on your kids. I don't think so. My kids are very independent. Spend a lot of it's almost like it's an equal thing, right? Like they'll have days and weeks when they want to be by themselves, and then they have weeks and days when they want to all be like on top of you, or they all want to be on top of each other. And that happens. Two of my kids have narcolepsy or cataplexy and have gone through different stages of depression and different things as they were learning to cope with it. But if you are honest and you're vulnerable in that aspect with your kids where you're not hiding and you're not trying to be this strong person and have no emotions or no feelings, right? Then you open up the space where your kids are able to then be as open and as honest with you. At least in my own personal case, like there are things that my kids could openly say to me that maybe they can't say to their dad because he's not vulnerable in that aspect, right? What works for your family dynamic dynamic. I keep on hearing some alone time. Now, the thing you also have to understand your kids are your kids, but you're not raising kids. You're raising adults. At some point, they're going to be adults themselves. So we have to try to give them as much tools as possible so that they are not a burden to society, right? You want them to be able to be emotionally independent to a point where they're able to make choices, they're able to know what they like, they're able to express what they want, they're able to express what they like. And sometimes when we try to be super strong in front of them, we're robbing them of that opportunity of being vulnerable, which is something that definitely happens, right? But it's again, it's about finding that balance, right? I have identical twin girls, and I have one that is, you could say, is a little bit more sensitive than the other one. So even though they're the same age, they're the same sex, the way that I speak to them or the way that I communicate with them are on different levels. One of them has narcolepsy, so I could say one word and she gets it, where the other one doesn't have it, so she's trying to, like, oh, okay, I think I get it, but the way that I word it towards her is different. But you need to like not blame yourself, because there's a lot of blaming here, and a lot of the blaming is yourself. Do when we're going through that spiritual awakening, we're either pointing the finger at someone else or we're pointing the finger directly at us, right? And when we're constantly blaming, then we fail to be in the present moment. We fail to live the experience that we're meant to be in. So, quiet time is something that, and I don't know what I have to say this way, you have to work towards. Um, do not make the mistake of trying to meditate or trying to sit in silence for an hour if it's not something that you know how to do. Start, and I know it may sound stupid, start with 60 seconds, with 2 minutes, with 3 minutes, whatever it is. Start small and gradually build, and it's like they're fidgeting, they're constantly moving, they're like, and it makes it worse because then now they're trying to sit still, but then they're also fighting all the thoughts coming in because they're basically trying to run before learning to walk. But again, if you don't have a therapist, maybe getting a therapist once a month or whatever it is to just kind of vent or whatever. Definitely feel free to hit me up. I do have questions, right, where it's like, it's kind of like you just talk. It's not really a reading. And I base the prices really depending on what the person needs. And it kind of gives you an open space, not just to vent, but I set the intention that as you're venting, you're getting clarity. So it's like you'll start asking me questions, you'll start asking certain things, and then it's like I don't even have to open my mouth, and it would just, you get your clarity, if that makes any sense. Because sometimes when you say it out loud, then you're able to like hear it or see it, if that makes any sense. So let me see what else does it have for this. So we have the Fool, the Nine of Cups, and the Four of Cups. So, and what I like about this is, again, you're being asked to go in a different direction, or to take steps that may not seem logical to other people, but in the end, or the end result is allowing you to release this depressive state that you're in, because it's a vicious cycle of, again, you yourself stated it, that you blame yourself a lot, and blaming and taking responsibility or accountability are two completely different things, right? So you can take accountability and just allow the energy to flow through you. And that is one of the hardest things. Surrendering at that moment in time when you're in that space. Whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally. That was personally for me one of my hardest challenges is when I'm purging physically. Oof, I gotta breathe and I'm like, yeah, let's stay in this moment. I know it's uncomfortable, I know it's painful, but in a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, I'm gonna be all right, right? And then again, if everybody is different, everybody is in a different part of their journey. There's no judgment here. There's no nothing. If what I say doesn't agree with you, then you don't take it. If parts of what I say agree with you, then you take that part. Because again, we're all, whether we like it or not, we are all one and we're echoes of each other, right? So I can't, the reason why certain things come easier, let's say, for me to talk about is because I've experienced it, right? And I had to listen and I had to surrender when I really didn't want to, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be here like, oh yeah, I just surrender. No, it took practice to get to that point where you're just like, I see it and I surrender, and I truly surrender, right? But this is just start off with that quiet time. And I would start off with maybe 2 or 3 minutes a day, whether it's in the morning or in the evening. And from there, it's like you will be getting more and more information on how to continue on moving forward with that. Well, guys, as always, thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. Thank you to all of those that have been donating. It is greatly appreciated. And if you have not liked, share, or subscribed, I encourage you to do so. It helps with growing the channel, getting the video out there for more people, as well as keeping me accountable for posting. If you would like a personal reading or any of the other services, all that information is down below. I am still out of the country, so I will be getting back to you guys or scheduling them when I am back in the States. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Mwah! Love you all. Bye-bye. Let's see if we can finish this. Okay. And